You may well wonder what I'm up to this morning. And admittedly, it's not the best of days for this, but you have to make the most of the opportunities. What am I digging up? What am I searching for? Well, I'm searching for the chrysalis of one of our most beautiful moths. It's a species I've not featured yet on this channel. And it's a hawk moth, and one of the first to appear in the UK in any given year. The clue is in this tree. The tree is a lime tree, and that's a big clue to the species that I'm looking for this morning. Well, the species that I'm actually after is the lime hawk-moth, of course, and there's a number of lime trees here at the entrance to Market Warsop Cemetery. And when I was a youngster many years ago, far too many years ago for my liking, digging around the street trees, those lime trees that lined the avenues and roads of Mapley in the Nottingham area, somewhere where you'd often find me. When you were young, digging away and grubbing around at the base of trees, you didn't get too many inquisitive looks. Very different when you're nearly 60. People certainly stare at you and wonder what the hell you're doing. And when you tell them, I don't think they even really believe you then. I think they think that you're trying to dig up some dropped off drugs, but my quarry is the pupa of the lime hawk-moth. I'm reliving my past, really, in a vain attempt to try and get it back, but we used to spend many happy hours, Gary Wilson and myself, grubbing around the base of lime trees for lime hawk-moth, poplar trees for poplar hawk-moth, and sallows for the occasional eyed hawk-moth pupa. All could be searched for during the winter months. And the best way, of course, was using a garden fork or a contraption like this, or even, if you could get one, a trowel, loosen up the soil around the base of lime trees. Sometimes you could find them close to the surface, in amongst where all the suckering growth forms at the base of limes. But by loosening the soil and then having a good sift through, you could occasionally strike it lucky. All the UK's hawk-moth pupa are a decent size, but they can be surprisingly difficult to locate amongst damp, claggy soil like this. And lime hawk-moth pupa are similar to poplar hawk-moth pupa, which can be found in exactly the same method, and that the dull, quite matte finish to them, really. And so, against damp soil, they don't always appear sort of bright and shiny. They're very difficult to see sometimes, especially if that mud or the soil clings to them. But I found one here. Have a go at digging it out. Sometimes you can find these, say, on the surface, but here's our pupa. Lime hawk-moth pupa and poplar hawk-moth are usually quite close to the surface, but here we go. One rather muddy lime hawk-moth pupa. Judging on size, and without inspecting it closer, this is a male pupa, but this is the first time I've done this in 40 odd years. Excellent. Here's one thing, it saves buying them, but locating pupa like this is probably something of a dying art now. In fact, in the whole of my lifetime, never ever saw anybody else doing it other than Gary Wilson, who was a fellow breeder of hawk-moths. And quite frankly, because we had no mercury vapour lights then to attract the moths in, so finding pupa over the course of several weeks during the winter months was an ideal way of obtaining fresh stock or putting new blood into the breeding stock that we had at the time. Excellent. Not a large pupa, as you can see. This one is about 1.25 inches, so we're looking about 30mm from head at this end to end of the abdomen just here. If I place it back on the soil, it might look obvious in this picture, but they're not always. So there we are. Quite a simple method of finding pupa of lime hawk-moth. Now, many other pupa of moths can be found in similar fashion over the course of the winter. There's always something you can look for at every time of the year. So, have a go at this. It's worth finding. I mean, the moth's an absolute stunner. And species that I haven't photographed for a while, so hence my need to dig around these cemetery trees. Nothing in this little bit, but I'll continue having a look and see if I can turn up another couple. You don't need to look in the countryside for this. Street trees in urban areas are ideal, provided you've got a bit of loose soil at the base of them through which you can dig through and sift and have a look. And the advantage of lime hawk-moth, or looking for lime hawk-moth pupa, is that when the caterpillar descends from the tree, it tends to go underground or within the leaf litter at the earliest available opportunity. They don't tend to wander a great deal, which is a good thing, and it narrows your search. So I'd best crack on.